Hey guys, how's it going? Today's video is going to be different from me just telling a story. I kind of just want to talk about a topic and just list my thoughts about it. And I'm going to be talking today about long distance relationships. I feel like long distance relationships are one of those things people either oversell or completely underestimate. On social media, you see this picture perfect idea where couples sitting by sunset on a FaceTime call or sending cute gifts or counting down the days until the next visit. And it looks romantic, and in some ways it is, but really behind that filtered view, there's a lot of nuisance that doesn't get talked about. For me, the first challenge is communication. And you really don't realize how much you rely on physical presence until it's gone. In a long distance relationship, a lot of things have to be said instead of felt. The look in their eyes when they're upset, the small affectionate touches, even the casual comfort of sitting together. Those little things are gone. And that leaves you in a constant state of interpreting texts, voice notes, or even calls. And it's easy to read too much into a short response or feel anxious over something small. Suddenly, the thought, like, why didn't they text back immediately, can turn into hours of overthinking. And then there's the challenge of missing out on shared experiences. Think about all the little moments in a normal relationship: running errands together, grabbing coffee, watching a random show, even arguing and then laughing it off. In a long distance relationship, you don't get that. You miss the everyday life someone lives, which can create a kind of emotional distance even when you're talking every day. That's why I think so many people say the hardest part isn't just about being apart physically, it's feeling like you're only experiencing part of each other's lives. Another thing that really hits is the balance between independence and connection. You want to grow, pursue hobbies, live your life, but you also want to make sure your partner feels seen and valued. And it's a fine line because if you over prioritize your own life, you might seem distant. But if you over prioritize a relationship, you risk losing yourself. And I think long distance relationship forces you to reflect on your priorities constantly and communicate them clearly. Trust is obviously a big one. When you can't just see someone every day, you have to have trust without proof. And that's not easy. You can't check in physically. You can't sense small things through body language or daily habits. You rely solely on honesty, consistency, and commitment. And really, the moment doubt creeps in, it can be a mental storm, especially if your partner is in a busy phase of life or can't communicate as much as usual. But it's not all challenges. I think long distance relationship teaches you something unique about love. They force you to express feelings verbally, to appreciate moments intentionally, and to really value quality over quantity in your interactions. With everyday call, every message, every visit becomes meaningful. And if you can survive distance together, you often build a deeper emotional connection that you might in a normal relationship because you've had to invest in it consciously. The future is also something I think about a lot in long distance relationships. You can't just coast. You need plans, goals, a sense of direction, because otherwise the distance can feel endless. Whether it's planning visits, career moves, or even where you'll eventually live together, you must have a shared vision because having a shared vision becomes a lifeline. Honestly, what makes a long distance relationship work or not is really a combination of self awareness, patience, and emotional maturity. You have to know yourself, understand your needs, and be able to handle uncertainty without losing yourself in anxiety. You have to be patient with your partner and with the circumstances you're dealt with. And you have to communicate in a way that's not just frequent, but meaningful. So, my takeaway on this is really long distance relationships are not for everyone. They're challenging in ways that most people will understand until they've lived it. But if you approached it intentionally, they can strengthen a bond, teach you emotional resilience, and really redefine how you see love. It's hard, yes, but it can also be transformative. And I just want to know your guys' thoughts about long distance in the comments below. And I kind of want to see what you guys think of it as well.